So Johnny Depp's lawyer has been on a wrecking spree after taking out Disney, and what he's exposing is wild considering this is tied to some of the biggest social and political power players there are. Plus, there's a lot, and I do mean a lot of money behind this. He's essentially saying though, hey, I took out Disney, I took out Warner, I took out all those Amber Heard lies. Now you want to come for me? Hey, game on, baby. And this is fun times. I mean, this is fun times indeed. All right, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently, man. Adam Waldman has been on a legit wrecking spree since he came back to social media over the last week. I mean, first the man comes back and Disney's led Vice TV collapses in front of us. And now it's on to the bigger fish out there. And while the name of the publication might not ring a bell, the names associated and their jobs, they definitely do. And we're talking about something conceived by the former BBC head of news, former president of Dow Jones and the Wall Street Journal, and Matthew Barzun, not only a former U.S. ambassador to Sweden in the UK, but tied to the highest levels of power, the 2008-2012 Barack Obama administration. And make no mistake, too, the intent behind all of this is to destroy Adam Waldman. And I mean, look at this. When he starts wrecking back, they get triggered, and they get triggered badly. See, instead of rolling over and playing dead, Adam Waldman is wrecking this stuff and publicly. And this is what you have to do. You have to expose it and put it on blast, showcasing exactly what it is. Because I kid you not, they're trying to make a narrative for 2024, because this is an election year, saying that Adam Waldman is a threat to Western democracy. He's furthering Russia's aims. I mean, this is connected to the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard case. I mean, this is so crazy. Listen to this and look at his call out here. So do you accept the following comment made by a expert on Russian propaganda? Quote, "This really rather unheard of character seems to be, we don't know if it's at the center of a web or the side of a web, but part of a very, very, very malign, let's be frank, web of characters who played and continue to play a very active role in subverting Western democracies and furthering Russia's aim." I mean, that is a direct quote again about the reaction to Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Now, Adam Waldman, he puts this on blast, and he notes, hey, what about those funders that you've had? He says, "I have questions about Tortoise Media's questions. Where again am I on the web? Where's Charlotte? Charlotte's Web. Next to Templeton. Who's Frank? Should Russian propaganda experts put three verys in a row?" And that's true. Very, very, very. Wow. Do they expert better than they talk? More quote-unquote unheard of than Tortoise's funders, aka they don't reveal who's backing their attacks. Now, Adam Waldman continues swinging that wrecking ball, saying, this talking point, it came from Amber Heard herself. This is one of her very unsuccessful attempts, not only to go after Depp and Waldman, but to go after people like yourself and myself. They tried to unveil over 200 private Twitter accounts. They wanted all the information behind him. And he's saying, yeah, that propaganda expert, let me translate that for you. Quote, propaganda translator, quote, rather unheard of character from Tortoise Media's Russian propaganda expert equals quote unquote unknown attorney from the counterclaim where the Russian bot argument was first floated. And he says, this is some Mean Girl vibes right here. Now, this continues into the next question where he blasts their connection to the mainstream media, a la Cat Tenbarge. Cat Tenbarge, by the way, definitely in this podcast. On top of it, Cat Tenbarge doxed a person's family, went after their husband because they were mentioned in the Depp v. Heard trial. I mean, can you imagine that? Yeah, This is what they have to say, and this is beyond messed up. Quote, "Do you accept the following characterization made by an NBC journalist who covered Depp v. Heard? Adam Waldman is really smart, and I think that Adam Waldman recognizes and has recognized that there are numerous tools available to him as a lawyer and as sort of a PR director. So, you're not an advocate for your client. You're a PR director. That's funny considering this is coming from somebody that has been in communications with, well, a PR department for Amber Heard. And he's taken advantage of them because there's no system to tell him he can't. Obviously, in the case of him getting removed from the U.S. proceedings, that was a form of accountability for actions that he had previously taken. But even outside the bounds of leaking evidence, there were other things that he was able to do that are not technically against any rules. See the game that they're playing? Well, technically it's not criminal, and that are not technically illegal, that compromise the integrity of legal proceedings, aka having a voice, aka answering people's questions. That compromises the integrity. I see. I think that his behavior is incredibly harmful and dangerous. And this is what he has to say. It's subtle and between the lines, but I'm picking up quote-unquote dangerous vibes. This NBC journalist is in no way Cat Timbarge, who is in the trailer, not technically against any rules and not technically illegal, is also a description of driving when the light turns green. But the magnum opus of the call out, it comes when he gets a response. Because these folks, they don't like doing this publicly. They love doing it in the dark, and you can see it from what they say. Quote, "Very happy to answer any questions you may have, Adam. Or maybe you prefer feeding the trolls on Twitter. So, yeah, I'll put things out, maybe in a call. Maybe I'll do it behind the scenes. But on Twitter, it's all trolls." And Waldman calls that out. Plus, he calls out what they call bots. They tell you they commissioned independent analysis from two prominent data experts over nearly 1 million tweets containing negative comments about Heard from 2020 to 2021. They say 50% plus they're from inauthentic accounts. What does that mean? Well, I guess that's up to you to decide what that wording means. They also say examples of that, they include hundreds of accounts sending thousands of identical messages. So, you put out the same hashtag, you call out the same place, you're lazy, or you type out the same thing. We're talking about Twitter. We're not talking about making novels here. That proves everyone's a bot. Then they start bringing up Chilean politics. And that's what Adam Waldman calls out. He's like, right-wing Chilean politics? I met a Chilean sea bass last night. The sentient, alert humans you call trolls and bots, they're real people. That's stressing that. They're real people, many of them real abuse victims who would like truth, reality, and the facts back. Stop trying to make fetch a thing for politricks. Politricks indeed. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Leave comments. Let me know what you think. Share this everywhere too. Check out the links in the description. They help the channel out. Thank you.